Good morning, everybody. Oh, we got a front row here. I like that. How y'all doing?
Good.
So we got a little bit of a smaller crew in person, but I'm proud of each and every one of you. Because a lot of people wake up after a Monday holiday and they think, oh, it's Monday. But I think we got a good number of people online. So we've got some good stuff to cover. We're going to talk about the market today. We're going to talk about I've got some market data. You've got some market data. We're going to compare notes. We haven't done that yet, so it's always fun.
That's always good.
See if they both match. And then we got some other announcements as well. So first off, I think was jumping around a little bit. All right. What are y'all grateful for today?
Why do we do this?
Do it because it sets your mind right. It sounded like there was a tone in there.
No. This
was positive.
I want to review. I agree with it. I just, some people may be new to this exercise.
So we do this because I'm going to say I'm grateful for Allison back there because she and Crystal helped me find some land that we have been loving, and this was my weekend. It was my dog searching for me. I thought I'd closed up the tent, but she managed. She was like, "Where's my dad? Where's my dad?" And we're just having a ball. We cooked dinner. We found a turtle. We found pumpkin patch, random pumpkin patch down by the river. So we've already got orange pumpkins.
Look at that.
It's pretty cool. So anyway, we're having a good time. But what are y'all grateful for?
So I think but part of the answer to the question is, you can get anxious in this business, and if you focus on gratitude, it can kind of take some of that anxiety out of your life. You can focus on what really matters, right?
Focus on what really matters, right?
Yeah.
So, we all take 30 seconds. Talk to each other and tell each other what you're grateful for.
Did you all spend the night? Y'all spent the night out there?
We spent the night. Martha and I spent the night on Friday night, and then we're doing a lot of work on Saturday, and then it started raining, and then we were going to come back. Spend the night in Nashville Saturday night, brought everybody out on Sunday. Spend the night, cooked dinner down by the pool. It was awesome. Cooked breakfast, cooked burgers.
So y'all spend the night Sunday night too?
Not Saturday night.
Yeah, but Sunday night and Friday night.
And Friday night. It was awesome. It was really fun. We had cooked burgers over built the fire. Cooked burgers right over the fire. It was fun. Might have overcooked one of the burgers.
What?
About 100 degrees, but
Overcooked the burgers?
just one of them. A lot.
Better than undercooking them.
It's better than undercooking, but when you bite into it, and it was like a little bit hard, but a lot of learning. All right, what are y'all hearing? Who's got some good gratitudes? Anybody want to share? What do you got, Will?
I'm going to see a friend from college for the first time in 10 years tomorrow.
First time in 10 years to see a friend from college.
He invited me to a concert in Washington, D.C., so I said, sure, why not?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So y'all stayed in touch for a while?
Yeah, we've talked on the phone, but just hadn't seen each other face to face.
10 years.
What concert?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Sounds like college.
Yeah, sounds like that.
That's awesome.
We're going to the VIPs.
Okay.
VIB. That's good. Anybody else? Gratitudes? You want to share?
Don't have to.
Football.
Yeah.
Football season's upon us.
Football.
Dun, 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 dun. It's one of the tunes.
Yeah,
All right,
close.
stop there. All right, so Jimmy Dean, good old Jimmy Dean, while he's making sausages, he also said, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my
I
destination.
think Jimmy Dean came up with that.
I don't think he came up with that.
Sausage magnet known for his...
I was actually surprised when I saw that by Jimmy Dean. I was like, I think he might have added a word in there. Somebody else. I think I can adjust my sails. I think he added to always reach my destination.
Okay.
It was just a level of confidence right there.
All right.
But yeah, so in a shifting market, you can't change that. We can't control. We got the circle of control. There's things that we have. There's a little bitty things that we control, a little bit bigger circle that we can influence, and then a much bigger circle that we just have no control over. So we got to adjust to adapt to that stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more today. In news, so we talked about Jen Garrett. This is Teddy's sister, Bobby Noreen's daughter. She unfortunately passed away. We had a really good turnout at her service, and there was a video that played, and at the very end of the video, they played her voicemail. So if you called her and left her a message, and it was always, I mean, it was this voicemail for years, and it stuck with me. It was really cool hearing her voice. And it said, "You reached in, Garrett. Feel free to leave a message, or if you'd like to email me, you can email me, jen@jengarrett.com. That's 2 N's, 2 R's, 2 T's." And she always said that, and I just thought that was pretty cool. David Payne sent out an email that really warmed my heart, and it was if you want, I'm not going to forward it out to everybody, but he sent it out as like his newsletter. But a couple excerpts from it. He said, as a reminder, this is just a good reminder of what we do. He said, the practice of real estate touches every facet of life: birth, death, marriage, divorce, business success, business failure, departures, arrivals. Any and all of these things can come up in a real estate deal. It's essential to remember that this is about so much more than dollars and cents. A home is where life unfolds. It's all in all its ups and downs, and realtors are here to deal with it all. Pretty powerful statement.
Yeah.
Right? And then he said, realtors take care of people. Despite what some say about realtors taking up too much space and not adding any value, we earn our keep by taking care of people, helping them get what they need, when and where they need it. It's hard work, but so rewarding. You won't find a successful realtor anywhere who doesn't enjoy people and care about helping others. And then he put a piece about Village. He said, at Village, we look after our own. The huge crowd who came out to honor Jen Life and support her family makes it plain. Village is not just a business. It's a big bunch of fundamentally kind and decent people who are busy, but not too busy to step up and offer a hand to others. So thanks, David, for saying that. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Just a good reminder to hear that stuff. Okay. Upcoming education. Whoop. All right, we got some upcoming education. Dadu Palooza.
Teddy's here.
Teddy!
Snuck in.
Come talk about education.
Look at that.
So Teddy's got ruffles
Thank
and
Angela
camo.
with Deutsch for pulling that together. for me.
Ruffles and camo.
That looked like one of hers.
It is hers. Whatever you call that. Welcome. Sorry I'm a few minutes behind, but Teddy video goes here. I can do that manually. Hey, today, Dadu. Is it Dadu or Dadu?
Dadu.
Good talk. All right, so it's one of those. We're going to have a all things best practice you
say
need to know
Dadu.
about the. You don't say Dadu?
No.
Dadu. I thought somebody said Dadu. Dadu. It is Dadu?
Yeah.
For those at home, we know.
Do we
it's
know
sort
what that
We put
stands
two little
for?
dots over the A.
We do. Would anyone like to share what Dadu stands for?
There it is.
So we got some good answers.
Detached accessory dwelling unit. Right. Clear as mud.
It's like the garage off the back.
It can be the garage with a bonus above and could create income, and not all places allow them. So we've got two experts here that are going to give you some more deets on that. Seth Jennings and William Smallman. I'm excited about that.
They
Yeah,
like have a business. They can. So you have a location that needs one. They can
they
build
do.
you one. They know how much it costs. They've got plans. So it could be a pretty efficient way to do that.
Right. And, you know, it's just another good add-on piece to your story and conversation with clients when you're having those Ford chats. And it's like, hey, have you ever thought putting a dadu on your property? What is that? And do you see these things around you? So I think it just brings in another piece of conversation. So Thrive is crushing it. I hope you all come tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's just getting better and better. 40X groups, of course, kick off. We're excited about that. The leader kickoff there is for the trainers. So just know that that's going to be starting on the week of September 12th is when 40X starts.
Cool.
And you probably got the email. I just want to put a reminder out there too. Please be using the Facebook Village exclusive. And also, in addition to resources or things that you're finding on the Middle Tennessee forum, if there's something in there that answers a question that you have, don't hesitate to share that potentially on the Village exclusive if you think it's something a lot of people would benefit from, especially if it's a more timely or topical challenge that we're having. Cool? Questions, comments, needs?
We're good.
All right, we've got some class ideas that people have been emailing to us. We're excited about that. So, do you want your tech tip?
Yeah, I do need that.
You do?
Need it.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you, iOS 16 is coming out. If you haven't heard 7 million speculations of what the new iPhone's going to be, ignore all that because they really aren't always true. But iOS 16 is coming. But before we get into iOS 16, why don't we continue to master 15? And so if you'd like, you can grab your phone and you can, we'll put this in the link, but basically, you're going to go to camera app.
Oh, no way.
Okay, did you get it?
You can record a video with music in the background.
You can record a video with music of your choice from your library in the background. Now, I know that Insta and Snap and all that does that for you, but if you want to do your own custom, that's how you do it. So go to music. I'm going to, again, endorse Apple One. Buy it. $30 a month. You get Apple Fitness, Apple News, 2 terabytes of cloud storage.
Games, I think.
You get games, whatever. And Apple TV Plus.
And the music.
And the music. You get the music and the Apple TV Plus the news and all that. So like when Serena was playing, they were like, oh, Vogue, she's in Vogue. I could just go to there, and I had Vogue, like, because you have that bag. Go check out Vogue. All right, so you're gonna start your music. It sounds good. Then we're gonna go to the camera app. I'm gonna drag over. We're gonna put some hot tracks down to this.
Oh.
All right, now let's go back to this video. Drag down top right. If you want to turn your music off, you don't need to go find your app.
Got a bonus tip. Oh, I love it.
I'd never done it before, so that's pretty cool that worked out.
On the fly.
Oh man, I'll say I always think I'm pretty tech savvy, and I literally learn something every single week from that. So I love it. That's really cool. All right, Ninja skills groups. Just a reminder that those are happening, and we're gonna have a Ninja sign up link as well, because there's installations that are coming in October, November, I think, but
Yes.
I'm going to slide for that.
Oh.
So for the dates, so there was a really good turnout for this Shift webinar discussion. There was a lot of interesting things that were discussed. I sent out an email with kind of a recap, but a few of those things. One, this was surprising to me. So there was a study that said the Generation Z, which is below Gen X, so I don't know,
Below
maybe
millennials, right?
below millennials, yes. So that's like
20s.
20 somethings. They basically said a huge percentage of them were expecting and wanting the market to, quote, crash, right? Which sounds really naive, but the idea was, I just want to get a better price on my house, right? I can't afford it, and so I want to be able to get a better price. The challenge with that, as I'll show you in a few minutes, is that's, I would argue, very flawed thinking, because if you're waiting for the market to go down in price, one, even if it went down a little bit in price, by the time you wait for that to happen, and you never know when exactly to time it right, you spend more on rent, because rents actually went up more than the for sale market. So it just, if you look at the big picture, it doesn't really work. Sounds like a good soundbite. Yeah, I'll just wait for prices to come down, but show them the data, and I'll show you some data to show them here in a minute. Setting expectations matters. This was a cool study. They did a research study on looking at sellers and saying, all right, you've got a house at $600,000. You get an offer for $550,000. One group overwhelmingly countered or rejected it. Another group overwhelmingly accepted it. The one difference, and this is like a not actual sellers, but like a closed study.
Right.
The difference is the group that accepted it, those agents had shown their seller on the front end a net sheet of reminding them of what they bought their house for just a few years ago, which was about $380,000. And so it showed them the net. So they were not looking at, oh my gosh, I'm losing $50,000. They were looking at like, oh, actually, I'm actually just like made $150,000. So big difference, small nuance. Does that make sense? So make sure you're using the net sheet, show them, and put in what their payoff is. Talk about what they show. I like to print out a tax record, circle where they went when they bought their house. Hey, remember you bought your house back in 2016 for $92,000.
I think that's the hurdle a lot of people are. They've got the neighbor that sold like early this year and hit that high water mark. And the market was just so weird at that time. It was going up rapidly. It was kind of
Yeah.
a little bit exuberant, I would say. And now it's like, well, it just closed 3 months ago, and you're saying I'm so much less than. So I think that's a good way to
Yeah.
reframe it, and
Totally. And then obviously all the Ninja 9 is important, but he said there's 3 critical Ninja 9 habits in a shifting market that will really, really matter. So in the last 18 to 24 months, we've all gotten a little bit probably out of practice. I don't like to use the word lazy because nobody's been lazy, but you've been focused on being reactive, right? You get a call, I got to go see this house. It just came in the market. Go, drop everything, go see it right now. We'd almost become like Uber drivers for clients, which is a really dangerous game to play and to get used to. So what we weren't doing is doing our consistent, all the boring stuff, right? Making your phone calls, writing your notes, but really just like engagements, right? These are 6, 7, and 8 are all about just really live, good engagements. So number 6 was customer service calls, doing those every week. That's
just
just
like if I got active buyers or active sellers in the market, I'm
yes.
checking in.
Yeah, checking in every week.
Giving them an update what we're doing.
Because if your seller has called you or your buyer has called you before and you've been like, oh, they're on my mind, it's always a tough.
Yeah.
That happens to us
Yeah.
all. And real estate reviews, whatever format, this is not running comps. This is just giving them a market update report. Sometimes people get scared to do this if it's like, oh, the market's, shifting or something. There's actually some really good data or surprisingly good data out there. And that it's nothing drastic is happening. It's actually just getting a little bit more normal. And you're going to talk about some, I'll show some in a little bit as well. And then 50 live interviews, really making a point to get out and be present. So congrats to everybody who's here. Be present, be around other people, have those forward conversations. It's not about real estate. It's about everything David Payne said.
I'd say one of the things my financial planner does, he'll ask me to lunch occasionally, and because he's a friend, and like a lot of us have friends, clients, and so, but every time we go to lunch, he'll have like a little summary shows how the portfolio, what's something in the market. So it'll just be like 2 pages. We'll spend 2 minutes talking about it, but I think that would be a good thing to do real estate wise. Print off kind of a quick real estate review and show them what their house is worth and where it's, and just kind of put that as it's a walkout piece, but it reminds them, hey, you're in the business, you're tracking their real estate, and so you're more likely to get that call later.
Totally. Yeah. So RPR has a really simple report, one-click report. It's narrpr.com.
Real Scout's got good stuff.
But yes, there's a lot of
We've
different
got a
ways to
lot
do
of
this.
tools that we pay for you to be able to do that.
Exactly. So it's less about, it should take you like 3 to 5 minutes to print something out. It's not, do not run comps on their property because that'll take you a long time and then you'll stop doing it.
And there's a video on our YouTube channel on doing real estate reviews. So if you're curious, you need to brush up on that.
There you go.
Let's put that
So anyway, those were some good takeaways. The 40X, so last day to sign up. So QR code, if you need the sign up link, it's also a long URL at the bottom here, but if you need to sign up, today is the last day. We got to compile all the names.
For people that are new, what's 40X
So
and who should
40X
do
stands
it?
for the 4 disciplines of execution. Yeah, and so we're actually going to focus on a few things that are kind of like what he says here. So we're going to basically use those as our lead measures. The 4 disciplines are: 1, define what your goal is, and like how many contracts do I want to write in the next 12 weeks? Kind of ramp it up the year. And really, the magic is it's about the program. We try to do it for 12 to 16 weeks, but this one will be about 12 weeks. And that's really impactful. But what's awesome about it is that it gives you those habits and those consistent patterns that you get yourself used to in a group of your peers, so that then you're going to finish up this year strong and be super dialed in to go into 2023.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool.
It's been we've been doing this for several years now, and it's really helped a lot of us kind of get in the flow, focus on a few things that really matter, and really move the needle.
Yep. And some people don't like the word accountability. This is not, I wouldn't call it accountability. I would call it peer support. I mean, it's nobody's perfect by any means, and the brokers do it too. And
if you like accountability, that's what
if
it
you
is.
like accountability, yeah, it is. If you like peer support, feel like accountability. But it's there's no. Please don't not sign up because you're scared of like not being able to do it.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, that's okay.
Yeah.
I guarantee you're gonna do more than you would if you didn't.
Yeah.
So. Also, Best of Nashville. So we are. If you click that link, this is also on the Village exclusive Facebook page or QR code. You can vote for Village for Best of Nashville. So
Sweet.
best real estate firm, Connolly Corner.
All right.
Tell us what we got here.
Well, we got a lot. Let's start. Football this Sunday.
Can we
plan-
get some fog to
your
have you run out? And
Your
some
Sunday
fog?
plans are taken care of for the next like 16, 17, hopefully 21 weeks with the Titans.
I think I'll be busy with 40X, but that's good. Thanks.
Yeah. This you'll need. You'll be doing so much work during the week. You'll need a little diversion.
I like it.
Rabel and Derrick Henry be there for us. All right. I knew you knew that was happening. So you know who they're playing Sunday?
Another team.
Yeah. New York Jets. Big
The
game.
New York Jets.
So the market, finished up August, and it's been kind of choppy the last few weeks. So,
Okay.
but what's been going on is, remember, inflation's the real concern for the overall market. We've been hitting well outside the norms. And the bad news kind of at the end of the month was that the Fed chairman, Powell, came out and said, hey, this isn't going to be a short turnaround. We're going to stay vigilant on in continuing to increase interest rates until this gets under control. So the previous thought had been, well, maybe the Fed chair will be a little softer on interest rates because we might be going into a recession. And he basically said, I'm not as worried about a recession as I am inflation. And so the market sold off a little bit. Still, it's better than it was in June. So it was down over 30% on the NASDAQ in June. So we're still kind of in there where we've been in that trading range over the last few months. The big number I would say to look at
Hold on. Woo now.
is this oil price here down under $90 is really important. Just again, oil kind of in everything from transportation to getting goods around to actually manufacturing the goods. And if you look at where oil has been over the last 6 months, you can see we touched over 125 per barrel in March. And so we've come down again under 90 now. So that's really helpful. Like a
This is also pretty
25,
consistent
30%.
decline. Like not. I mean, this is so sporadic right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got. This is out of town, but in Dixon, but for like $3.11 a gallon yesterday.
Yeah, so we were touching 4, a while ago. And then the other one that's big for us is lumber continues to come down. Was up over about 1,500, and now we're down to 500. So almost about a third of the price of where we were. So all of that should be good. And again, the CPI just started to kind of roll over the last month, and so we'll be eager to see what it comes in August when they report that here coming up. You know what that is?
I mean, it doesn't look like it should work. That's a heavy little ball on the right.
This is what we call in the business Zach a graphical illustration
Okay.
of a reality.
I call it defiance of physics.
Well, so this represents 2 different types of people,
Okay.
and it measures the average net worth of each of those people. So on your left is your average net worth of a homeowner,
Wow.
and on your right is the average net worth of a renter. And so it's just a reminder, like as we're out there helping people get to that dream of owning a home, just what you're actually doing to them financially and helping them get to. It's just your average homeowner has a net worth like 250,
It was
260,
like 247, 250, something like that.
Yeah.
And then your average renter was like
6,000.
6,000 or 7,000.
Yeah. So it's a huge difference, just that automatic savings that happens as you pay down your rate. I mean, your mortgage over time. You just kind of naturally build. You let the market kind of continue to go up over time. I mean, those two factors is where most people, build most of their net worth. And it reminds us of the quote that we had. Well, it also reminds us that real estate is still everyone's favorite investment over the last 9 years. So worth remembering, better than stocks and mutual funds. So for those investor clients that may be kind of seeing some deals out there, just remind them of these two things. The more real estate they own, the better. Because Jacob Astor, the next quote, it's great. This guy was from the late 1800s, early 1900s. He says, buy on the fringe and wait. Buy land near a growing city. Nashville is obviously growing. And buy real estate when other people want to sell, and then hold on to what you want to buy. So he was he actually died. He was an industrialist, developer, real estate owner. And in today's dollars, by the time he was 40, he had grown like a $3 billion net worth. I mean, at the time it was like in the millions, but compared to, in today's dollars, it'd be about $3 billion. And he died on the Titanic. Can you believe it? Yeah, he was taking the Titanic and the maiden voyage, and he put his wife and daughter on the boat, but no men were allowed to get off the boat, and it sunk. I didn't know that.
Wow.
But he did well before he died, and he followed his advice.
Good. There you go.
All right. But we have so I wanted to highlight some good news in Nashville-wise, because remember, our real estate's local, and in particular, the thing that keeps our real estate market growing are people moving here and job growth. And so these are, I've got 3 examples. Fisher Scientific, which is adding 1,400 jobs, just kind of southeast of Nashville in Lebanon. What they do is develop vaccines that, like the transfer fluids are like one. They make the what do you call it? The single-use containers for like healthcare and vaccines and things like that. So that's what they do.
You have to pee in a cup.
Yeah, gotta do that.
Let's just be real.
The other one, which is in a charging station manufacturer called Tritium, they're moving in also just east of town. They're going to be adding 150,000 square feet, over 500 jobs. These are also pretty high wage jobs, higher than average wage jobs for Middle Tennessee. So that's exciting. And then just kind of southeast of Nashville in Murfreesboro, this is a big truck manufacturing plant that's adding. This company's based out of Canada, but they're bringing 230 new jobs here. What's interesting as you go to the next slide, I think, these are all companies that
Hang on. We're going to use the.
These are all companies that actually manufacture stuff. And as the return to work and the office market kind of goes through what it's going through, you can't really remote work when you're making a dump truck and so, or a charging station. I mean, there's not so it requires people to move here. I thought this was fascinating. So Castle Industries, they create a lot of the card swipe stuff, and so they've been monitoring actually how, compared to where we were before the pandemic, how many people are actually back in the offices. So not so much office vacancy, which we can talk about what's going on in the office market, but just actually where we are relative to before the pandemic in terms of people actually coming back into the office. And so we're still less than 40% back to the office relative to where we were. And so it's just a long way. Manhattan in particular is seeing more and more of this, and they're actually starting to convert some of the office buildings to residential. Like Manhattan's weird. You can't find an apartment for less than like 500, but 5,000 a month. But like their office space is completely, or more than 40% vacant. So
Oh, wow.
this will be an interesting thing to watch as people as you know, the remote work kind of still gets digested. What will companies allow? More and more companies like Lyft, you know, a lot of the technology focused companies are allowing people to work from home, and so how that plays out in cities with just tax base and revenue and how all that works out is going to be interesting to watch. We're seeing it, you know, we've got 3 million square feet under construction here in Nashville in terms of just spec office buildings at a time when we have about 18% vacancy and another 20% of sublease market, you know, available. So in the Bridgestone building, for example, Bridgestone doesn't need all the space that maybe they don't need the 100,000 square feet that they have. They just need 60,000, and so they're going to put that $40,000, you know, back into the market in the sublease market. So it's as tough as the residential feels right now. Be glad you're not in the office market. It's going to be a little choppy. So
That's a dramatic headline.
yeah, I just want to highlight, we're going to start to see
Slashing.
headlines like this, and you know, I think Nashville's going to weather the storm way better than national markets are. So I thought this headline, you know, showed that. The other one is this next map that shows.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
There must be something. There you go.
So, well, this doesn't really show up in color. We'll send this out. You can see the darker areas, kind of in the west, are getting a higher percentage of price cuts. So these are just, you take what's on the market and then what's gotten a price cut. We're better off than most, but a lot of those markets out in the west that were pandemic markets, you know, I'm moving to Boise or I'm moving to Denver, and there was in particular in some of those smaller markets, there's such a small supply of homes that things got bid up.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing a lot of, 60% kind of price cuts. So interesting. But, and then finally, just another hey, we're going to have 123 housing markets see declines, yet 780s will have higher prices in 2023. So will this continue to see that? I would say just focus on, again, what we control and be ready.
Home prices to fall in these 123 housing markets, while 780 housing markets will go higher in 2023.
Yeah. So it's actually fairly good news, right? I would say, you know, your clients are reading this, and so just be ready for them to ask you, how is the market going? And we talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
And tracking where we are. This is for the end of August, and I think we'll see this start to shift a little more. But we're currently about 7,000 houses in Middle Tennessee listed. But then if you look at the closing pending, we've only got about 3 months of inventory, which compares pretty favorably with where we were in 2018, which was another good market. And it's super favorable to where we were nationally in, or this isn't nationally, this is locally in 2008. Nationally, we got up to about a year's worth of supply in 2008. And so again, our market tends to do better than the nation just because we've got so much of a diverse economy. But these are the numbers, I think, that you can, when someone asks you how the market's doing, you can kind of give them some comparisons, and you can supply an answer that's a lot more helpful than, well, it's good or it's tough, a lot of listing, you know, just go through this data and ask some questions. Ninja teaches us to ask, what have you heard in the market? Next slide. Yep. 2 follow-up questions just to know, what have you heard? You gather some information around where their headspace is in, and then also what part of the market are you interested in? You might learn about an opportunity that they have that you can help them with. But then always be prepared to actually answer the question and share some current and historic market data.
Yeah. So what's the month? How much supply do we have in the market right now? Middle Tennessee.
2.8 months.
Yeah, a little less than 3 months of supply.
Yeah.
That means if no new listings came in the market, based on the rate of sales, in 3 months, we would be out of houses to sell. Now, that doesn't ever happen because there's always people coming in on the market, right? But it just means that the pace of houses coming on the market is
And that compares
Still-
the reason we're seeing a shift is what that was like 1.5 months
Yeah.
a year ago.
Yeah.
So it was a lot tighter, and that's why we had
that's why people would say, like, it feels like there's, quote, no inventory,
right.
right? There was still inventory, but it was, when there's only 1.5 months of supply of homes, there's just not much to choose from.
Yeah.
Right. Most economists typically say 6 months is an even market. I think Nashville's probably, that 4-month range is more kind of historically even. So we're still a little bit less than that. All right, international buyers.
Yeah, so again, I thought this was interesting because with the COVID restrictions gone, they can travel more freely.
Yeah.
They're getting back in the market, and they're looking at kind of the second tier markets. Austin, Nashville would be one of those. So just be aware that those opportunities may exist, and it's a great time for our leading RE, network to hopefully bring those in. And then finally,
Woo, look at that. Good work, y'all.
you guys are still crushing it. And there's a lot of business out there that you're winning more than the lion's share of. So
That's unbelievable. Good
Yeah.
work. All right, so I don't know, $4 billion partway through
that's
the
in
year.
the first half. First half of the year.
Pretty good. All right, so speaking of the market, so this is kind of ties into what you're talking about. But do y'all think, we look at the appreciation rate over the last 40 years through the FHFA site. The new data just came out, and last year was the highest. 2021, we had 24.8% appreciation, which is like 2.5 times higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So the assumption would be it's going to slow down a little bit. And then our first quarter of 2021 was almost 6%, 5.94% appreciation. How much do you think the second quarter was? That's April, May, June. Up or down? I think it went up or down.
Year over year. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much? All right, 7? 12? Will, you see this? 7.02. We looked at that earlier. So pretty impressive. That was higher than I thought. I was not expecting that. I was actually expecting it to be pretty flat. So what's crazy about this, so this is cumulative, right? So this bar will keep going up. It's already in 2 quarters of 2022. This is big picture. The appreciation is already the second highest ever on record for a whole year. You with me?
Well, we're with you. We're also with you in the market and know that what is happening. I mean,
So-
it's going to go up, but yes, these statistics are cute until a seller is pissed because their neighbor got
Right.
sold at the top of the roller coaster.
Exactly. So that is, this is just another way of looking at it, right? So, so if a seller says like, "Oh my gosh, I have to sell down here," remind them, yeah, but you bought right down here. Like, are we really gonna like complain over some stuff? It also gives you a good opportunity, I think, for as a buyer's agent, you can write an offer with a contingency and negotiate some. So pricing a house is still a little bit tricky. You gotta, don't necessarily be careful. That's high appreciation. If you start pricing at those comps, and supply is increasing, then don't forget, remember, people will buy in line, right? If there's 5 beautiful houses that are all in a similar location, people are going to probably buy what? They're all pretty close to each other in terms of looks. People are going to buy the less expensive one first.
I think comps over 2 months old are sort of irrelevant. And I think, what you're doing at CMA, 6 months is a joke. Even 3 is getting a little dicey. Because you can clearly see by the dates, after June, forget it. It changed.
Yeah.
It changed. It didn't crash, but find
And
something.
this is through June, right?
Yeah, and find something that's meaningful to them that maybe they can understand.
Yeah.
Did you buy Apple stock at the peak?
Yeah.
Could you buy your Apple phone cheaper 4 years ago? Or even, like, you're going to get an $800 credit for your trade in to get a 13. As soon as the 14 hits, the game changes. Like, it's just how things work. So find something maybe that equates to them as to, like, supply and demand. Toilet paper, hand sanitizer, when we deal with that, masks, I mean,
Egg, carton of milk.
a carton of milk.
Commodities.
Gas prices, were you pissed? Did you still fill up your tank at 4:30? Oh, you did. Oh, interesting.
You
You
get
you
about-
still fill up the same amount at 350?
Yeah.
It's just wild how this works. Like, don't get snarky, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's just, I think you've got to get them out of the old data. It's just, it's great news because you're at a new benchmark, but like, now we're starting a new trend line.
Yeah, and I think it's important too I think when prices are changing, people are always afraid of what? Selling too cheap,
Yeah,
or
selling too-
leaving
nobody
money on the
wants to leave money
table.
Nobody
Right.
wants to
I'm not going to give
feel
it
like a fool.
I'm with you. But it is, pricing is so important. When more inventory comes on, things are slow, that you can see from the pendings, like it's slowing down just a little bit and buyers are being more choosy. It really matters where you're priced, and convincing your seller not to push, but to be in line with where contracts are actually happening. I mean, Wendy Money just had a recent sale where she got above asking price because she had it priced
Yeah.
right there, and it created some competition.
The market's not going to leave money on the table. If there's multiple interests, they'll bid it up. So just if your gut says go lower
Yeah.
in that conversation with the seller, go lower. Because like the best thing that could happen is it gets bid up. The worst is you blow your grand opening and now you're chasing the market. So try to be in the market, not on the market.
And
The idea that people, well, just someone will make an offer, let's keep the listing price high. It doesn't really work that way.
All
Yeah.
sense maybe.
All right, Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Rates
Here,
are good.
she can
That's
come in.
good.
She can sit.
You know what? I actually don't. Those are rates from last week, from 2 weeks ago. So 5.375 is from a few weeks ago. What are they now?
Not as good.
Not good. You didn't get the rates today.
I don't have the
Sorry.
rate.
6% today.
6% today.
Without any points, if you want to pay a point, which a lot of buyers now are doing, then, it's about 5.625 on a 30-year. So, I just kind of brought a couple of examples because we've been talking about like our, Marry the House, Date the Rate program and doing like kind of promoting this for your listings and also doing, applying that buy down, like the seller paid buy down. So I brought a couple of examples. One, it really, I think this one right here, but the seller buying it down from this flyer was done at 6 1/8 was the par rate at the time. So applying 2 points towards a rate buy down got their rate down to 5 1/8, which saved them like, $400 I think a month. And over the life of the loan, it was $145,000. It's saving that buyer.
And how much does that cost?
That costs the seller about 12 grand,
Wow.
right? So, I mean, I think it's just really, we've talked about it. I thought it'd be good just to bring an example so you guys could see. And we're, promoting these on, for flyers for listings. So if you need something like this, just get with us. We'll be happy to put that together for you.
Wow.
And then
okay.
our program, the Marry the House, Date the Rate, for those buyers that are getting in, are a little sticker shock with the rates right now. Again, we've got that program. We'll do a free refinance for them within 3 years. They finance with us and one of our trusted partners as far as the title company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got, Marry the House, Date the Rate. Where there's some graphics on this on the Google Drive. So mortgage rates on forever, right? Refinance for free, and a couple qualifications, but it's amazing, right? That's really good. So
Yeah. So again,
thanks, Connie.
just
All right.
let
So
us
rates
know
today are about 6%.
about 6%.
Don't
Yep.
know that number. So good. All right. Ninja, September 26th to 29th. That's coming up. That is in 20 days. So sign up for that. There's a link in the education email, I think, Jeremy. And then again in November 14th to 17th. So right before Thanksgiving. So if you've not done Ninja, please sign up. If you have already done Ninja, it's phenomenal to do it again. It really does. People think like, oh, I did it 5 years ago. I guarantee you're going to get 100 new takeaways and rehear things for the first time that you were told last time, but didn't let's sink in. Again, Fall 40X starts next week. I meant to put a week in there. Today is the last day to sign up, so the sign up link's in the weekly education email. It's also in the slides, the QR code. So we're gonna get
Sign up
those.
for that. It'd be a fun way to spend the fall.
And just to report, I've touched on this before, but if you want to go to showing time, if you're curious about like, hey, how many, probably half the market uses showing time. Some people are switching over to RealTrax showing. RealTrax does not have the market data. I'm hoping they'll get that, but they don't. That's just since it's new, they don't have that. But if you log into your showing time account, click on reports over here, and you can get total number of showings in a certain zip code or price range. You can look and see, based on, all right, if we're trying to figure out where the price is, well, 675 to 699. I don't know. I feel like we should really price it at 710. Okay, you sure about that? Because
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I was just thinking maybe we might get more activity at like 699 or 695. I was just thinking that. It was in my gut. So don't just show them your gut, right? Show them the data. It really helps get a point across of where to price it.
But this is the challenge of having two showings.
What's that?
This is the challenge of having two showing systems.
Challenge of having two showing
systems. Now it says Zillow. Yes, Zillow owns CSS, it sucks, but they do have the data.
Yeah. Well, yes. And so, in RealTrax, again,
But I think that'll change. I think people are going to move over to RealTrax when it's
we-
ready.
I think when it's ready, a lot of companies are using RealTrax. We have not switched just because it's
Keller's already using it.
Keller's using it a lot. Yeah, a lot of the companies are using it. We kind of wanted to make sure that it was.
We're not going to mess with it.
We
for
don't
you
want to. Yeah, if
guys
it ain't broke,
until-
don't fix it. Let's get it going well. We've given feedback to them. You're welcome to try it if you want to try it out. I know a lot of you tried it on the buy side, so. But that's just some data there. So. But coming soon, don't forget, check out the Parks Village Program Coming Soon's page, post those there, and that's it. Takeaways, what are rates today?
6.
What's our, how much months of supply do we have right now? How much has the market gone up just in the first half of this year? Wow, about 13%, which is half of what it was last year. So do we think that's going to continue? Seems like we're on trying to be another 26% year.
Doubt it.
Probably not, right? Probably not. If that's through June, I think there's a lot of stuff happening in June. So
Tough comps
that's
coming
it. All right, so Dadu, right, Dadu?
Not a day.
All right, Dadus are going to start here in just a minute. I have no idea what time it is, but it's in 10 minutes. We're going to start the Dadus. So
Thank you.
that's it. Thanks, y'all.